This is Meltdown Live, presented by MyBookie.ag. Use code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag for double your initial deposit. You sign on to make a deposit, they double it with code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. MyBookie.ag.
Welcome in. This is the Meltdown. It's not only just the Meltdown. It is also a Fun Friday edition of the Meltdown. It's not just a Fun Friday edition of the Meltdown. It's also our Meltdown movie midterm, and we're very excited about that right here. In the Culver studio, I am Tim Melton. Across the aisle from me is the one and only Tyler Lionel Johns. Tyler, another Meltdown movie midterm is here. It feels like 2025 is just blazing by.
Yes, it is, and part of why it's flying by so fast is because we see a lot of movies, and, you know, we've had a lot of fun in the theater, and time flies when you're having fun.
It's time to look back and see exactly what it is that we love most about this year. One of the things that I love absolutely most about this year, it's my dentist. You hear me talk about them all the time. It's Dr. Jeff, Dr. Brian, and Dr. Nolan. They're located on Grants Mill Road. Very convenient if you're right here in central Alabama and you're looking for a new place to house your dentistry concerns. This is the place to go. They are going to be very transparent with you about what your treatment options are for maybe you're having some sort of tooth pain that you can't quite figure out. I know that I've had a procedure done there this year. Jim Dunaway has had a procedure done this year, and we had a great experience there over at Alabama Dental. You're going to want to reach out to them at 205-956-8977 to become a patient today. Yes, this is the place that's going to meet you with some smiling faces as soon as you walk in the door there in Grants Mill Road. Make sure you reach out and try Alabama Dental for yourself as they're accepting new patients. For more information, you can also log on to alabamadental.com, where they look forward to seeing you, and we love the team at Alabama Dental Associates. They have been with us since day one of the Meltdown, and here we are in our second midterm ever, and we're getting set to talk about all the movies that we love and all the performances that came up maybe a little bit short. This is going to be not just your typical top 10, what's your 10 favorite movies, what's my 10 favorite movies. This is going to be a pretty in-depth discussion, with a lot of different categories as well, because I find that is the most fun way to go about this with the prompts. We have 4 or 1 answer for every single prompt that I throw out there. Let's go ahead and get into it. The first prompt: what are the 4 best movies you've seen so far this year? And you can define best however you choose, with number 1 being the best. Tyler, I'm going to let you get things started because you've seen a lot of movies here in 2025. You've got to narrow it down to the 4 that really stand out to you as being the ones that you're most attached to. Are you ready to go ahead and get into number 4?
I think so. It's tough for me to narrow down my list, given that I've seen over 75 movies the past 7 months now, 6.5 months, I guess. So there's a lot to choose from, and I kind of, we'll get to it.
Okay.
There might be some controversy, but I'm hoping to smooth things over.
Okay.
So number 4 on my list, Final Destination Bloodlines. Just a great popcorn horror movie. I really enjoyed this one a lot more than I was expecting to, because I had gone through a full rewatch of the whole franchise before going to see Bloodlines, and I think it's the best entry of the franchise. It's got a very heartfelt send-off for Tony Todd. It had plenty of references to other entries in the franchise, while also kind of standing on its own, building out the story of this family of survivors.
Some really great performances, great ensemble there. Not a lot of big names, but you don't need them if everybody sort of works well together in this puzzle.
Absolutely.
So a very strong choice there for the number 4 spot. Where are you going for number 3?
Number 3, another horror movie, one that just hit me a little deeper, one that made my timber shiver, if you will.
I didn't know what you were about to say.
I didn't know what I was going to say either. Bring Her Back, from Danny and Michael Filippo. This was one I was very much looking forward to because I'm a big fan of Talk to Me. And I went in to the Scream Unseen pretty confident that this would be the movie, and it delivered. I haven't gripped the armrests of my chair like that since seeing something like Martyrs. I don't know. There's just some visceral scenes in this movie, and I don't want to spoil anything, but I wasn't a fan of Cantaloupe before, and I'm definitely not now.
I understand exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
We'll wipe our hands clean of that one and move on to number 2 as you're counting down your 4 favorite movies so far. We start off with a heavy hitter right out of the gate.
We did.
Where are you going for number 2?
Number 2, something a bit more of a general crowd pleaser. This might be the most recent movie both of us have seen. Superman. I absolutely loved Superman 2025. It feels like an episode of Justice League Unlimited just thrown up onto the big screen. You jump right into the action, and I think if you're just a comic book fan through and through, you've grown up reading everybody's origin stories and you know all the characters, then this is the Superman movie for you. I think that James Gunn's Superman fills the role in the Superman fandom that Matt Reeves' The Batman fills, in the same way that Batman fans have been just foaming at the mouth for a world's greatest detective Batman movie. Superman fans have been clamoring for a wholesome comic booky adventure, and that's exactly what James Gunn's Superman is about. It is a fun thrill ride. It's not too deep. You're not going to be going down the video analysis rabbit hole like you do with stuff like The Batman. But, man, you'll want to go back and see it again just because it's such a fun time.
All right. I was convinced our list would have a lot of crossover. And before we get to number 1, I'm going to go through my build up to number 1.
All right.
So I'm going to start off with my number 4. And I actually, looking at my list, expected it to be a little bit more like your list if you would have asked me a few months ago how it would have lined up. But at number 4, a movie that Tyler was championing a lot that really hit a lot of notes for me, Friendship is at number 4. I think this movie is hysterical. One of the funniest movies I've seen in a theater in a decade plus. I mean, it is really, really funny. Now, is this for everybody? Absolutely not. You got to have the certain sensibility there. But this is a movie that I just continuously think about. And there's a certain fast food chain that every time I pass by one, I just cannot help but think about that scene from Friendship. And I'm telling you,
forced ham on Italian herbs and cheese.
I'm telling you, if you just want a really messed up dark comedy that's funny as all get out from its awkwardness, Friendship hits those notes for me, and I think it'll hit it for you there at number 4. Number 3, a movie. This was a double feature. I did it on the same day. Dangerous Animals.
Wow.
I love Dangerous Animals, and I'm not going to apologize for it. It hit every one of my sensibilities.
See, I enjoyed this one, and that's why I recommended it to you, because I know you love shark movies.
Yeah.
I didn't expect you to love this as much as you did, but the next day you came in just singing its praises.
Is it my second favorite shark movie of all time? Maybe. Jaws being number 1, obviously.
Yeah.
But, like, Dangerous Animals is a fantastic what happens if we make a shark and slasher movie in the same vein, and I found it to be super compelling. Is this going to win any awards? No, but that doesn't mean that I have to love it less. I will not apologize for my love of Dangerous Animals and how it was a sneaky good time. I had not seen a single trailer before seeing the movie, which I think benefits it because I didn't know which way it was going. It had a jump scare in this that literally made me, like, jump. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. I mean, I was like, whoa. I haven't been hit with a jump scare in a movie in a long time, but I mean, it's spoiled in the trailer if you watch it, but in the movie, it really, really worked for me. So Dangerous Animals, I love.
Also, good inclusion of Baby Shark.
That is also correct. That is also correct. If you have raised a kid anytime over the past 20 years, you know Baby Shark when you hear it. Which, by the way, multiple movies this year featuring Baby Shark. I don't know if you remember, but Drop also had a Baby Shark scene, which it's like,
You're
what is going on here?
absolutely right. It did.
I couldn't help but think about that when it was in there. All right. this is a little bit of a cop-out in the number 2 spot, but so far Tyler and I have not had a single movie that has crossed over, and it's the same as I move on to number 2. Hans Zimmer and Friends, Diamond in the Desert. This was a concert movie that I saw in theaters. I think John Williams is the greatest film composer of all time. That's not a hot take. That is just a fact. I'm sorry, but like I've talked about how Superman and Jurassic World Rebirth right now, the top 2 movies in the country as we speak here in this midterm, and they're both propelled by John Williams' music that he did decades ago. That's how much of a just dominant figure he is. But right there in that solid number 2 spot, it's hard not to argue that Hans Zimmer is that guy. And a lot of people prefer Hans Zimmer's work. I mean, it is very gripping, and it just flows through you. And I obviously love the Dark Knight trilogy, and I love that there's a whole segment of this that's dedicated to that. But basically, it is a concert film where they're going through and they're playing all the Hans Zimmer hits with live musicians, and they're making it very thematic. They can't put the images of the movie with the music, but you can in your own head see the movie playing out while you're enjoying this concert film. I don't know where it's available right now for streaming. I'm sure it will be out there to watch in your own home if you got a good sound system. Hans Zimmer and Friends, Diamond in the Desert. It's also a little bit of a documentary. He sits down with Nolan. He sits down with Denis Villeneuve. He sits down with Timothée Chalamet. He sits down with Zendaya. And
I was going to ask, how Dune heavy is it? Because I absolutely love the score for Dune.
Then you'll love the first 10 minutes of this movie because it's all Dune. I mean, it's just like super Dune heavy. So if you're a Dune fanatic, you'll really enjoy it. But that gets us to our number 1 selections. Now, I have not seen your list. You have not seen mine. I don't know if you're about to throw a curveball, but I have a feeling this would have at least made your top 4. I think we share the same number 1. Sinners? Number 1 movie of the year?
So, okay. So this is where I hit a little bit of a snag with my list, right? Because if we're talking about live action movies released this year, Sinners is number 1 for me. But before Sinners came out, I got a chance to see the Attack on Titan movie. Now, the reason that this is somewhat controversial, but I also still feel like I need to include it, is because it wasn't entirely new content. It was the last 4 or so episodes of the show condensed into a movie, not chopped out or anything, just the last 4 episodes flowing right into the next one, along with about 15-ish minutes of new content. So that's why I had to include both Sinners and Attack on Titan in
Tied
this.
in the number 1 spot.
Yeah, tied in the number 1 spot. Because I can't do Sinners dirty and not give it number 1. It is absolutely fantastic, and I'm sure we're both about to get into all the reasons why we love Sinners.
Yep.
But I had to include Attack on Titan because, man, that is one of the greatest stories ever told. Doesn't matter what medium you're talking about, whether you're talking about in a book, in a comic strip, in a manga, or in a TV show or a movie. I think Attack on Titan is some of the most potent, strong storytelling you can find.
So you're sort of bending the rules with Sinners being a part of that rule bending.
Yes.
And I'm going to go ahead and tell you that there's going to be some time in this. I'm going to bend the rules with some Sinners rule bending, so I'm fine with it.
Okay.
But I'm not giving you grief now. You don't give me grief later. We'll talk about it.
It's fine. Like,
yeah.
It's just so weird because the majority of it was not new content.
Yeah.
But there was new content, and it actually, I did feel like enhanced the story. And you know what? It's a movie, and it's Attack on Titan, and you're gonna be hard pressed to not give Attack on Titan 5 stars.
Sure, and I understand that. And Hans Zimmer music is not new. It's
right.
Of course, so I understand.
I guess that's a little different because that's more, I guess, documentary-esque.
Yeah.
With like just interviews and discussions. On
Yeah,
music.
I mean,
that's new.
That's all new, but it's it's playing the hits, and
Right.
that's exactly what Attack on Titan is doing here with you. It's playing the hits while also giving you that 15 minutes of extra new stuff, which is what I'm getting here with Hans Zimmer. So I understand that. I just maybe would have put it in its own number. I just would have
Yeah.
thrown it and bumped number 4 out of, which I think was Final Destination Bloodlines.
Yeah, I thought about doing that, but again, it's like, am I really going to bump one of these for anime and not even a new anime?
Yeah.
Like, it'd be different if, like, the Don to Don Season 2 movie that I caught a few months back was in the top 4 of my list.
Yeah.
Then that would hold its own spot.
Well, I'm fine with what you did here because ultimately we're going to talk about Sinners here as it is deserving of all the praise. I'm trying my hardest. I'm in the phase where I go through a thing where when I see a 5 out of 5 movie, which is what I believe Sinners is, I see it as many times as I can throughout its original theatrical run, especially that opening week where it's like really fresh and it's a movie that you can go deep on. It's got a great soundtrack, great cinematography, great acting, great set design, great lore built in one movie, right? In one movie, there's more of a universe established than what we've seen some comic book movies try to do that have like 4 entries.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's okay. You can just say the DCEU.
well, yeah. I would love, I'm trying not to just go after him every single episode. I would love to even go through a Sinners graphic novel run.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think there's enough there. So,
in that
Sinners,
sort of Robert Kirkman Walking Dead comic style.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that. I mean, I can't get enough. There's got to be something else. And I don't say that from I just feel like there's such a demand for it, right? The Sinners Steelbook right now is going for crazy numbers, and we should have bought up as many as we could. We'll talk about that another time. We should have bought Bitcoin 15 years ago. But
I bought a PS Vita instead.
Well, there we go.
I think I've told that story.
Yeah. But Sinners is fantastic. Our full spoiler review is up. If you love Sinners, you'll want to check that out. It's here on the channel. But I'm in that phase where I'm trying to forget about it. So that way when I revisit it, I love it all over again. And that's what I do with movies I love. So Sinners, fantastic. If we were to pick one movie that is our shared number 1, it is Sinners. Will it be surpassed this year? I doubt it. I truly doubt it. I thought Superman, there was a chance, but it didn't even make my top 4. We'll talk more about Superman as we move on. But Sinners, number 1. And Warner Brothers has had a heck of a year. Because that leads us to our next thing, which is what 2025 movie was fun, but doesn't make your top 4. So it's basically your honorable mention, your movie that you had a good time with, but you can't really justify it being in the 4. And I'll go first because it piggybacks off of what you were talking about, and that is Final Destination Bloodlines. The thing I toyed with was, do I include the Hans Zimmer concert documentary? And if I didn't, I was going to include Final Destination Bloodlines in my 4 favorite movies of the year. I think it's got some outstanding performances, some great kills. It enhances all the other movies. I've never cared about the Final Destination movies. I went and saw Bloodlines and wanted to go back and revisit all the other ones, like it enhanced the whole property. Yes. And I think it's got fans excited about what's to come.
It absolutely does. There's rumors of characters like, I believe Clear, maybe not Clear, Kimberly, that's what I'm thinking of, from Final Destination 2. There's rumors of her rejoining the franchise for the next entry because she actually survived Final Destination 2. And yeah, fans are still talking about it. I'll scroll through social media and I'll see at least one Final Destination Bloodlines post.
They brought this franchise back from the dead in the best way possible by giving you the best entry yet here in this part of its history. So Final Destination Bloodlines, I've got to give some credit to. That opening sequence, that opening 10, 15 minutes, I was absolutely hooked right from the get. And just made me want to shout about it. So here we are, Final Destination Bloodlines, my honorable mention of maybe the most fun movie of the year that didn't make my top 4. Tyler, what fit this spot for you? I'm very curious about this one for you.
So, just real quick, I wanted to ask, what did you think about Tony Todd popping up in Bloodlines?
It's fantastic.
I mean, I thought...
It's not only a send-off to his character in the movie, but it's a send-off to his legacy in horror. And the way the cast talks about him, I mean, there are certain icons of horror. Tony Todd is one of those.
Yes.
Undeniable. And it takes you out of the movie in the best way possible. And by what I mean by that is when that scene pops up in the movie, I got to thinking about Tony Todd, not about Final Destination. Mm-hmm. And the things he says, it really felt like an in memoriam speech that he was giving for himself. And I thought it was incredibly poignant.
So that's because it was. He had already found out he was sick, and they were filming it, and he asked to improv his scene.
I'm glad that they went with it.
Yes. It was fantastic. It felt reverent of his entire career and what he means to Horde.
Yeah, and he's a very important part of this franchise. And obviously, I will always forever associate him with Candyman first and foremost. But I'm really, really happy with how they handled that. So I appreciate you taking the time to ask that question, because it was definitely worthy there to throw that in. And it really gives that whole movie way more weight. Movie went off to be a huge financial success. And I think Tony Todd would have been very, very happy with the final product.
Mm-hmm. He's got to be. Now, lightening the mood a little bit. What 2025 movie was fun to experience but didn't make my top 4? That's Friendship. Oh. I loved this movie. That's why I recommended it to you.
My number 4 and your number 4 we did for our honorable mentions. That's awesome. Anyway, keep going.
This movie is just delightfully wacky. From Tim Robinson going, it's at some points he's almost playing the straight man, and then at other points he is the wacky character. He plays both sides of that coin very well. I just love his family's behavior and then his reaction to it. I don't want to spoil it for those who haven't seen it. Go watch Friendship. It's hilarious.
I think it's a movie like Step Brothers.
Yes.
That when Step Brothers came out, it was not a big hit. I mean, it just was not a massive success. But cable television, home viewing, the fact that the people who loved it originally gets better every time you watch it. Friendship, I think, has that ability to, over the next 10, 15 years, continue to grow in popularity. I really do feel that way.
Yeah, I want to make sure I own a copy of Friendship for my personal media collection, because I do think it will be one that you can revisit time and time again and just laugh hysterically at. It is the first time in a long time where I've gone to a comedy movie in theaters. That's already rare enough, but on top of that, one that just seems to land with everyone who goes and sees it. Now, that being said, if you're not a fan of Tim Robinson being that just sort of oddball that he is known to be, if you haven't seen any, I think you should leave sketches. Maybe try those out first before watching this. But if you like it, you get that for 2 hours.
Yeah, and there's a lot of callbacks, so pay attention to everything. Everything matters in this movie, so yes. I really, really like it. And there's a lot of awkwardness in the movie, but it translates to how you feel almost in your own community at times when you're trying to associate with people that you just live in proximity to, but maybe can't connect with emotionally all the way that you would like to. But I think it's fantastic. Paul Rudd, if he hadn't been in so many iconic comedies so far, it would have stood out even more. But I mean, he brought his pedigree to the movie, and he did a great job playing that role. Okay, it's now time to get on to the movies that we consider the worst so far, as that's exactly what you're tasked with. What are the 4 worst movies that you've seen so far this year? And you can define worst however you want to. Will we have any crossover? I don't know. We'll see. But go ahead and get us started here, Tyler.
So starting off, number 4. Yes, I have worse movies than this on my list, because I think this is probably your worst movie of the year. The Woman in the Yard from Blumhouse. This is just... I still don't know how to describe this, because it tries to be dreadful, but it doesn't land. None of the emotions this movie wants to convey actually land properly. And I think the overall threat of the movie is an absolute joke. I think the message or the themes that this movie tries to get across come across the exact opposite way as intended. Or the creators of this movie just really didn't have their ducks in a row when they were making it to begin with.
Screenplays matter.
Yes.
This movie's screenplay fails it. It's got a great hook. Imagery is pretty solid.
Yes.
The young cast is not bad. Right? It's got a lot of the right ingredients. But it ain't cooked at the right temperature, and it ain't mixed together the right way.
Well, the power was out.
I guess.
Couldn't use the stove.
I mean, it's just the screenplay is awful, and
Yes.
how this bird lands.
I think the overall just like initial premise of it, like you said, it works. Like it's good imagery, but it just doesn't deliver on anything.
You know what I almost wish? Like, this movie is like a magician that fumbles the cards at the end and is like, is this your card? And it's like, no. Is this your card? No. Is this your card? Well, yeah, but I mean, you got it the third time. Like, it's got a lot of tricks up its sleeve, but you would rather them just be transparent about what it is they're doing right from the get. And it would be so much better a movie if they just tell, hey, this is what this thing represents. This is what is happening. This is what the characters want. This is the history. Like, if it just gave it all to you up front, I think you'd be way more hooked as to what's going on if they fill you in. And by the end, you're asking questions like, well, did that mean what I think it meant? And then what was that? And did that just say what I thought it said? And I can't believe this movie got made.
Another issue with it is the runtime. Normally, when we bring that up as a complaint, we talk about it being too long. No, this is too short. This fits the mold of the Blumhouse. We're gonna have an interesting idea, and then put no money in it. And that's just what it is. It doesn't deliver on what you want it to. If you took some time to develop that mother character a bit more, I think maybe you got something.
Oof.
But
it's awful.
It's just a joke.
Today's the day. Anyway, The Woman in the Yard sucks. Where are we going for number 3 on your list of worst movies of the year?
Number 3. It's got some higher profile actors and a higher profile director. That was weirdly enough hidden from the marketing. I'll get to that in a bit. Flight Risk, starring Mark Wahlberg, Topher Grace, directed by, as the trailer put it, the director of Braveheart and Hacksaw Ridge. And then if you're sitting there going, well, isn't that just Mel Gibson? Yes, it is. This movie didn't want you to know that, though.
Hey, it hit number 1. It was the number 1 movie in the country.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It was. Yeah.
But even
This
the
thing
people
sucks.
Yeah, the people who went to go see it, I mean, overall, they're like, not very good.
I'm a big Topher Grace fan. I don't think you'll find a bigger Topher Grace fan than me. He doesn't add anything into this. He does more in Heretic than he does in this movie in terms of making it better. Mark Wahlberg, this might be the worst Mark Wahlberg performance next to The Happening, except instead of, oh, no, you get, y'all need a pilot, and it is terrible.
I thought that was Mara Pa Kent there. I was like, what's going on?
Oh, no, his country accent is more offensive than mine, Pa Kent.
Got it. All right. Flight Risk at number 3. Where are we going for number 2?
Number 2. Man, y'all know I love animated movies. Y'all know I love shoes. So I thought, man, I'd bet I'd love a movie that combined the two, and that's Sneaks. And of course, I'm kidding. I knew this movie was going to be dog water going in. I didn't expect it to be this bad. It's about a sneaker that's like a real high-end shoe that's hyped up, and a kid wins them at a contest at a sneaker convention, takes them home, and one of them gets lost from the other. So it's about that sneaker's journey home to find the pair. Wow. I did not know a movie could be this bad. They use trademarked materials in a weird way. Like, I don't think they had full rights to have a Nike shoe in the movie. So they have, like, random swooshes on, like, duffel bags and boxes in the background.
To the point where they could be sued.
Yeah, like, no, like, it is clear as day a Nike logo.
Yeah.
It's clear as day, like, those are the Adidas stripes on a shoebox right there. We're never going to say the name, though, or the model of shoe.
Still.
Yeah, it's very odd. And then there's another personal gripe I have as a sneakerhead in this movie. At the sneaker convention scene, there's a scene there's a part where somebody goes, "Yeah, those are the Back to the Futures," and everybody who is a sneakerhead immediately goes, "Oh, the Nike Air Mags, the self-lacing ones from Back to the Future 2. Yes, classic, just hyped sneakerhead shoe." It cuts to a pair of, like, some janky-looking running shoes. Like, in no way, shape, or form could you even think that this was used in Back to the Future. And the real kicker of this, oddly enough, I think it's the best part of the movie, and that should tell you how bad this movie is a scene where the lost shoe makes his way to a basketball court, starts talking with some other shoes about how he can find his way home. Keith David, an old Chuck Taylor, hops up, and his name is OG, I believe. And he says, "We sneaks don't talk, we converse." Do you get it, Tim?
I get it.
You get it?
I see the pain in your being, yeah.
Converse is a word that means to talk, but it's also a brand of shoe.
Yeah, I got it. I'm so sorry that you went through this. You were alone in the theater during this,
I was
right?
completely alone in this movie. This was like dead empty theater.
Opening weekend.
Yeah, opening weekend too. And it's a good thing too, because during the Back to the Future part I mentioned earlier, I audibly went, "What? No! No!" when they cut to the shoes that were clearly not Nike Air Mags.
Well, I feel like if there's a movie that's very low rent that has the letter S that starts off like in 2025 here it Sneaks, in 2024 it was Sting, I feel like you need to maybe stay away from those. Maybe watch out. All right, that gets us to number 1 on your worst of the year list so far. So far, not a ton of crossover from where we've been so far. I want to see where we're going. I've said so far about 20 times so far.
Yeah. Well, I also see more movies, and that's not meant as a shot. You just have a certain threshold of quality a movie needs to meet before you'll consider walking in the door. Whereas I'm
that is correct.
Oh, this movie looks absolutely abysmal. Time to shoot a review. Are
we about to get Al Pacino as a priest?
It's Al Pacino as a priest.
Oh, my gosh.
That is, oh, my gosh. I've never wanted to walk out of a movie so bad in my life. The camera work was abysmal. The acting was phoned in. The story was uninteresting. It is every generic priest horror movie you've ever seen.
What's the name of the movie again?
The Ritual.
Oh, yeah.
That's not generic at all.
Hey, you could have seen Friendship a second time because you accidentally walked in the wrong theater when I was about to watch Friendship.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, that night when I went to go see The Ritual, you were in the theater, seated for Friendship.
You were like mad at me. You were like, "I thought you were seeing Friendship." You know,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I am. What are you doing?
Yeah, so the trailers are rolling, and I walk in, I wave to Tim, he's up on the top row, and I sit down, and then you texted me, and we're like, "Oh, I thought you were seeing the Al Pacino movie."
No, you texted me. I
Oh.
thought you were seeing Friendship.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
And
how
I
it
said, I
started.
am.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, you're in the wrong theater. And I was like, I don't think I am, because I'd been in that same theater for Dangerous Animals, so I knew the theater number
Yeah.
pretty well.
And then,
And I see you get up and scurry out, and little did you know you should have just stayed.
I should have stayed. I should have stayed. I've never wanted to walk out of a movie so bad in my life.
Man. And it's like a mockumentary. I mean,
Yes,
it's like
it's done like The Office style. Like everything is done with a handheld camera with a lot of like whip pans and fast zooms. And so you'll get these moments where it genuinely feels like The Office, and then you'll see Al Pacino look into the camera like he's John Krasinski. And it just takes you out of it and completely destroys any hope you have in it resembling a good movie, because you just think, like, they were serious? They actually went for this. This is what they thought looked good.
Al Pacino has been in a lot of awful films over the past 20 plus years.
Yeah.
And he gets away with it because he's got such high marks in what he's hit on throughout his career that he doesn't have anything left to prove. So just give him his money. I mean, and this is one of those movies where it's just sounds like it's just a show up, get your money thing.
That's exactly what it is. It's a Jack and Jill scenario. Or a Russell Crowe in another generic priest movie. He's
Last Right, wasn't that it?
Well, he was in that, but wasn't he also in one called like the Pope's Priest or something? Or the something's priest?
Maybe that's what it was, and I'm thinking The Last Right was something else. They have to come up with names that confuse us all with these B-level priest movies. But
there was one in theaters that had a very similar name to a completely unrelated movie released in Netflix, both starring Russell Crowe as a priest.
Well, that movie I did not watch, and I did not include it on my list because I did not see it. So I'm going to get to my 4 misfires of the year, the 4 worst movies I've seen so far this year. Number 4 for me, Mickey 17. I really don't like this movie. Tyler had kind of warned me that Mark Ruffalo goes off the handle here and he's not reined in. And my gosh, him and Toni Collette, I cannot think of something that was more frustrating to consume.
Go watch Hereditary and then go watch Mickey 17. You got the polar opposites of Toni Collette.
Yeah, really, really annoying. So I super duper hated Mickey 17 with Robert Pattinson. Not really his fault. The movie doesn't make sense to me either. I've tried to make sense of like how one clone trying to kill another clone, which is in the trailer, of like how that benefits them when the next clone comes out. They both think it benefits them to make sure the other one perishes before I don't know. It's not very good. And Bong Joon-ho, I expect better. Because Parasite is being heralded by, seems like every major magazine as the number one
I saw that
movie of the 21st century. And Mickey 17 is not a movie that was very good. So Mickey 17 is in my top 4 worst. Number 3, this is a movie I hated. I just hated the blend of it. I hated the tone of it. It frustrated me. And it's Hard Eyes. I really didn't like the sort of tongue-in-cheek, but also we're going to play it deathly serious at times. That horror comedy aspect that I felt like leaned way too much into the comedy compared to me able to take serious the subject matter here that was Hard Eyes. Now, I know it's just a goofy little slasher, but I thought that this was a chance of something that I was going to be really excited about. Multiple series. Now, it did well financially, and I guess couples went out to go see it around Valentine's Day because it was marketed right to them. But I found all the characters to be incredibly annoying. I didn't root for almost any of them. Some of the kills were okay, but the first 15, 20 minutes, I knew I was out on this movie. I mean, I knew real quick, like, oh my gosh, I hate the tone of this. Hard Eyes at number 3. I'm going to be in the minority on that. I think a lot of people like the movie.
We're both in the minority on that. We ripped this movie apart when it came out, and all of the critics from major outlets were giving it high praise. But I think the difference between them and us is we're horror movie fans.
Well, yeah, I don't know if some horror movie fans that have really liked this movie too. I just was not one of them at all. So Hard Eyes, I'm willing to admit, in the minority, still hate it. Number 2, Woman in the Yard. We've talked about our frustrations with this. This is the second worst movie of the year for me, and I hate it. And if you want to know reasons why, circle back to about, 10 minutes ago. Number 1 worst movie of the year for me. Do you know the answer of what I'm going to go with here?
I thought it was going to be Woman in the Yard, but is it Materialist?
No.
Wow, okay.
No, not Materialist.
I'm trying to think what else you've seen.
We saw it together.
We did?
We did. A few weeks ago. It was The Life of Chuck.
Oh, yeah.
The Life of Chuck didn't make your list, which I'm actually a little surprised by because we both saw this trash heap of movie. The Life of Chuck.
I still liked it more than Woman in the Yard.
Oh, my gosh. No. The Life of Chuck. The Woman in the Yard is supposed to be dumb Hard Eyes is supposed to be dumb horror. Mickey 17 is supposed to be, you know, kind of goofy sci-fi. These are supposed to be goofy movies. Life of Chuck is supposed to be life-changing and reaffirming of the path in which you're headed down. And all that. This is the dumbest movie I've ever seen. I hate this movie. My least favorite movie maybe of all time is The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. And this is very much that. Again, I got middied again. Because it's supposed to be people who are struggling to find their path. They watch this movie and all of a sudden they're like, you know what? I'm going to go back to my roots and, you know, really do what makes me happy in my core.
Man, how lost are you in life if this nonsensical just heap of a movie is what makes you go, yeah, you know what? I know what to do now.
That's how this movie ended up making money, with people who were lost that just happened to walk in the wrong theater, I guess, or that happened to buy the wrong ticket at the front. But Life of Chuck sucks, and I don't like hardly anything about this movie. So The Life of Chuck, worst movie of the year I've seen so far, and don't recommend it whatsoever. Next up, what movie that you saw this year wasn't one of your worst, so it didn't make your 4, but was deemed immediately forgettable to the point where you're just now thinking about it again for the first time? What falls into this category for you? What was the forgettable movie of the year that...
So this stars someone you refer to as the greatest actor to come out of the world wrestling entertainment.
Dave Bautista.
Yes.
Yes.
It's inspired, or I guess done in collaboration with one of the greatest writers of our time, George R.R. Martin. It's In the Lost Lands, starring Batista and Mila Jovovich. I couldn't tell you what this movie was about if you put a gun to my head.
Yeah. Well, let's not do that.
Yeah. I'm just saying. You give me one shot to tell you to summarize this movie for you. I couldn't do it.
It's another one I skipped out on, but it sounds like it was a big waste of time.
Yes.
And
it's another thing. It's another excuse for George R.R. Martin to not finish Game of Thrones. It's like, oh, well, sorry, I was working on this movie with Batista. It's taken up a lot of my time. I think you guys are going to like it, though. No, George, we didn't. Just finish the book.
That's one of those movies that you would have probably appreciated if it had been sent straight to streaming, because you wouldn't have wasted any time on it at that point.
Yeah.
But the fact that it was in the theater, that already is half the ticket to get you in. And then trying to see as many movies as possible as well. And hopefully it's a, sneaky good time, but it sounds like it was not.
No, it was not. It was directed by, I want to say it was Paul W.S. Anderson, who made such classics as Resident Evil Retribution, Resident Evil Afterlife, Resident Evil The Final Chapter, and the Monster Hunter adaptation. Basically, if you see Mila Jovovich in a movie, it's this guy's movie.
Kind of know what the flavor is.
Yeah.
Speaking of big giant monsters, for me it's Jurassic World Rebirth. And while I've been talking about this movie a lot here recently because it just came out here this month, it's a movie that, like, story-wise, just dead on arrival. I mean, I think the story in this is just the most generic, basic, like how they interweave this family on the island with them, and it's just a waste of time. Jurassic World Rebirth, if you just want big dinosaurs, you don't care about the story, you don't care about the characters and their motivations, all that stuff, you just want big dinosaurs, checks that box. But Jurassic World Rebirth, I feel like, is one of the most forgettable movies. And like 2 years from now, nobody's going to be able to tell me what the plot of the movie was. So,
100%.
Jurassic World Rebirth. We move on to this. What 4 male actors do you feel like have given the best performances, leading or supporting, of the year so far? First being the best. I'm going to start off. At number 4, I've got Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor.
Ooh.
I feel like he's really good. Do you like that pick?
I do.
Okay. Well, we'll see how well that works. Superman, for me, not a top 4 movie, but really solid. It was a 4 out of 5 for me. So, I mean, I've really enjoyed it. I want to see it a second time. There's been a lot of reports about who got paid what as an actor in this movie. Lex Luthor, Nicholas Hoult got paid $2 million, while his counterparts got paid like $750,000. And I think he earned it. I think Nicholas Hoult is fantastic in this. Juror number 2, we've talked about a lot, him being in that. Obviously the X-Men movies.
Nosferatu.
The Menu, even Mad Max, Fury Road, he's really, really good in.
Witness.
So, Nicholas Hoult is a great Lex Luthor, maybe my favorite cinematically of all time. He's great. Number 3, Tim Robinson from Friendship. I can't think of another person who could really perfectly blend this crazy guy that's very strange and weird, but also wants to fit in, that you root for. And it's one of my favorite performances. The movie does not work without his performance, without his creativity, without his mind, without his timing. And he blew me away in this movie. So I really thought Tim Robinson was great. At number 2, Jai Courtney from Dangerous Animals. I would have never guessed in a million years. I'm telling you, I love Dangerous Animals. Okay. Yeah. And I'm not going to apologize for it. And Jai Courtney, we all agree this is the best he's ever been on camera. And he has to be crazy to make this thing work. And he makes it work. And he's eccentric. He's got a little bit of Buffalo Bill about him. You know, he's got that kind of that attitude, you know, when he's like eating by himself in the little diner part of his ship. He's ruthless, but also charming and like over the top, but also menacing. I just thought it was a really great performance, and it works well for that. And then I'm going to go ahead and go to my number 1 because it's a total cheat. It is the male cast of Sinners, the ensemble there.
Okay.
They just all work so well together. You can't take one out, and it's a stronger film. They all complement each other. What I didn't want to do was make all 4 of my spots Sinners actors.
Yeah, because you could be like, well, Michael B. Jordan in Sinners, number 1, because he plays both roles.
Yeah.
You could go Delroy Lindo.
Oh my gosh, so good. So I'm just going with the male ensemble of Sinners at number 1. It's my favorite movie of the year, and I'm sorry if I cheated my own rules, but I couldn't. I didn't want just all 4 spots to be made up of the cast of Sinners. So, number 1, the male cast of Sinners. All right, let's move on to yours.
Jack O'Connor or O'Connell that plays...
I think it's O'Connell.
O'Connell, yeah. Plays Remick. Very great.
So good, menacing. Even his sidekick, the guy that, is one of the early victims that doesn't get a lot of speaking lines, but is part of the singing trio. And I mean, he's really good. I mean, it's the male cast of Sinners... fantastic. So that's what I'm going with for our male actors. Where are you going with for number 4 on your list?
Number 4 on my list, going with a younger actor, Alfie Williams. Bring Her Back. Played Lil Ollie in Bring Her Back. This kid has to just contort his face in the strangest of ways and land it. Actually, wait, I think I actually might have messed up. Yes, I did. I wrote Bring Her Back for some reason. Alfie Williams is not in that movie. I was just reading off of my notes. Alfie Williams from 28 Years Later.
Got it. Great choice, by the way.
Yeah. I think he's fantastic in that movie. It's some of the best kid acting I've seen in a horror movie. Next to Ollie and Bring Her Back, of course.
Honorable mention.
Yeah, honorable mention, the little Ollie.
Ollie-orable mention. Ollie-orable. So sorry.
Anyway.
We'll get to this 28 years later.
Alfie Williams, he really carries the movie when you go in expecting someone like Aaron Taylor Johnson to have to carry the movie. But the story is more about... that character's son, who is played by Alfie Williams, rather than Aaron Taylor Johnson, because if he had to carry the movie, it just wouldn't work. But Alfie Williams has this mix of determination and naivete, whatever one would be appropriate there. And it's just like a heartfelt performance where you can tell he's giving it his all, and he's very believable in the role.
Yeah.
As a concerned son in the apocalypse that is, working his way on to becoming a man and trying to figure out what that means for himself, even when his role models aren't the best.
Maybe the best mama's boy of the year.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe. All right, let's move on to number 3.
Moving on to number 3, a movie you did not get to catch, and a movie a lot of people didn't catch, and I don't blame them because it was a real tense movie. Joseph Quinn in Warfare.
Oh, yeah.
So, Warfare is not a traditional war movie in the sense that you've got your ragtag bunch of heroes that have a main objective, main bad guy, main sort of MacGuffin they gotta collect to drive the plot forward. This is just a group of guys stuck in Ramadi looking for a way out, and then the movie ends.
Yeah, no, it seems very visceral. It seems very,
it is
intense.
extremely visceral. Sound design plays a very big role in this movie because you hear a lot of gunfire going on, and they need to make it sound like it's coming from outside or it's coming from right next to you because you've got one of your guys posted up in the window trying to lay down some covering fire. And without giving too much away, there is a scene where Joseph Quinn is hurt, and he screams for a solid 2 or 3 minutes, and I can still hear him screaming.
Mm.
He absolutely delivers in this movie. An extremely memorable performance, and this is what sold me on Joseph Quinn as an actor, because it really wasn't him as Eddie Munson, and it definitely wasn't him as one of the emperors in Gladiator 2, and it also wasn't him in A Quiet Place Day 1.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right.
This sold me on Joseph Quinn. Like, as weird as it sounds, his role as a war veteran trapped in Iraq gives me more hope for his performance as the Human Torch.
I understand it. Yeah. And because we've seen that translate from very serious films to these comic book movies, and hopefully he's the right call there, and we'll be seeing it next week and have our non-spoiler review out for you a week from today. So we're excited about that. All right, let's move on. Number 2.
Number 2 on my list. 1A, Nicholas Hoult. He's number 2 on my list, but you could call him 1A because I just love when he screams that out in Superman. He is the best Lex Luthor we've seen on screen, bar none. I thought that this version of Lex Luthor is just a grade A hater. Nobody hates like Nicholas Hoult with Lex Luthor, and it works fantastically. He can play this sort of sophisticated, smart role, but he has this very expressive face where you can see his expression turning to anger and disappointment, and it lands so well. I think this is the best Lex Luthor. Again, it's fantastic.
It's a perfect blend of menacing but also captivating, charming. It brings you in and then pushes you away, and brings you in, pushes you away. So I thought it was a strong performance.
Yeah, I think Gene Hackman's performance, everybody looks at it because it is the original live-action Lex Luthor. I think it's a little too over-the-top goofy for today's taste. Kevin Spacey, he's mean, but I think part of what hurts that Lex Luthor is I don't understand what his motivation was in that movie. But that's a separate discussion. Jesse Eisenberg, that's just not Lex Luthor. That's the Riddler mixed with a cheap Heath Ledger imitation.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, and Mark Zuckerberg thrown in for good measure. But this feels like a true comic-accurate Lex Luthor, and he's captivating on screen.
Well, good for you. That's our one that we share so far. As we move on to your top spot, are we going back into centers? What are we doing here?
So I think you took the better route because I've just got Michael B. Jordan on here, but you really could give it to the entire male cast of
Let's
centers.
just go with that.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. Okay, what performance from a male actor is in contention for worst performance of the year? For me, it was down to 2, and they were both with the first name Mark. One was Mark Ruffalo from Mickey 17. The other's Mark Hamill from The Life of Chuck. Hate that performance. Ooh. I mean, oh my gosh, he plays this weird old grandpa dude that just is not funny.
No.
Hobbles around.
Yeah.
It's kind of wheezy.
Yeah.
Looks like he's going to kill over at any point.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it. So, but I went with Mark Ruffalo, Mickey 17, because Mark Hamill played the Joker, and he gets a pass. Mark Ruffalo was he brought the movie down so far. Life of Chuck couldn't be brought down really that much further by what Mark Hamill was doing because the movie was already awful.
Yeah, but Mark Ruffalo, he takes
the air out of the room.
An extremely expensive, overall really good-looking sci-fi movie and turns it into an SNL sketch.
It's bad. It's really, really bad.
Not even a good SNL sketch. A bad sketch.
It brings down the whole movie. It brings the air out of the room, and it becomes political commentary where he's trying to play all the people in the world that he really hates, and he thinks he's getting away with it, and it's awful. It does no favors to his cast members.
That's the kicker too, I think, is that it comes across like he thinks he's clever by doing that.
Yeah. And he got paid handsomely for it.
He
and
sure did.
Big misfire. They should have never cast him. It really ruined that. But what performance from a male actor is in contention for worst performance of the year for you, Tyler?
I also went with Mark Wahlberg in Flight Risk.
3 marks.
Yes.
Mark, and Marky.
Oh, hi, Mark.
You hate this movie.
Yes, this was terrible. I like Mark Wahlberg when he's doing goofy action. I really like him when he's doing good action, like The Italian Job. This was none of those. It tried to be like a clever mob thriller that was also like tight-knit action, but it just failed at every single step.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. I know that Lance he sold all of his stock on Mark Wahlberg a long, long time ago. Let's go to this. The 4 actresses leading or supporting that have impressed you the most so far in 2025. First being the best. I'm going to let you start things off with number 4.
Starting off with number 4, we caught this very early this year at a Scream Unseen. Companion, Sophie Thatcher. I loved her in this movie. She's really great in Heretic as well. But I love a good revenge story, and I felt like her character had a lot of range in Companion.
Companion will be talked about here in just a little bit. Let's move on to number 3.
Oh, nice. Number 3. So I had not previously seen any of this actress's work. But after this performance, I'm a fan. Rachel Brosnahan in Superman. This is my favorite Lois Lane I've ever seen on screen. I think she's got the right mix of like fiery punk rock reporter and then also like concerned loving girlfriend to Clark. It's a really good performance.
I'm still a Margot Kidder fan. The original Lois Lane there from 1978 that went on in the sequels as well. But very strong selection here at the number 3 spot. Very strong selection. E.G., not a fan of Lois Lane in this movie, and I still can't figure out fully why.
I've seen some odd takes on Rachel Brosnahan, Lois Lane. I've seen people criticizing the shoes. I've seen people criticizing the outfit, just being like, that's not Lois Lane. That's this interpretation of Lois Lane.
Okay.
I don't get it.
A lot of people very protective of the things they love. Let's move on to number 2 on your list.
Number 2 on my list, a performance that I thought was incredible and infuriating. Sally Hawkins.
Yeah.
Sweet Mrs. Brown from Paddington.
Yeah.
Playing the most evil person in the world for Bring Her Back.
Potentially in movie history.
Yeah, honestly.
Maybe.
I mean, she is just a master manipulator in this movie. Sorry, this has been spoilers for Bring Her Back if you haven't gotten a chance to see it. But, wow, the performance is incredible. She is menacing, yet almost trustworthy and believable at times. Psychotic. She throws pee on the main character's face while he's sleeping.
If you go to Gaslighting 101, yes. She could teach the course. She's really good.
Man, yeah, she's the professor. She's got all the proper certificates for that class.
For sure. All right, we move on to number 1 on your list of best female performance of the year. Where are we headed?
One that did not infuriate me at all. One that made me go, oh, I'm into this performance. Haley Steinfeld in Sinners.
Yeah. Well, tell me
What a
more.
performance.
Why about that, Tyler? Did it? No, just kidding. Let's not do that.
No, everything in Sinners is great. Every performance is great. Jokes aside, like Haley Steinfeld is great
really is.
in this
She
movie.
is.
Yeah.
Okay, let's throw some.
I know she's gonna be in your list too. Really?
We'll see.
Okay.
Number 4. Tyler, you're gonna roll your eyes, get upset at me again. I don't care. Hassie Harrison from Dangerous Animals. She's the main girl in this, and
She was good.
she's very good. She's got a Jennifer Lawrence
Mm-hmm.
appeal to her.
Yeah.
Of like, I could have seen Jennifer Lawrence and her sharing scenes as sisters in a movie. But she's really good. She's strong, but also like she plays scared really well. I thought Hassie Harrison did a great job in Dangerous Animals, and in order for that movie to work, it's got to have both of those parts be very strong in Jai Courtney, and he got high praise from me. Hassie Harrison gets high praise as well from Dangerous Animals.
Yep. Great final girl performance.
Number 3, and I hope I'm getting the name right, Maya Kaloa, who played Lilo in Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, yeah.
You want to talk about kid actors. I mean, it's got to be really tough to find the right Lilo. And
yeah.
I think they did. I mean, I really cared about this little girl. Thought she was incredible. Very cute voice, but like delivered everything perfectly. It's the only movie this year that's made $1 billion. And if you don't get Lilo right in this, you don't care about Stitch. It's that same thing where you got to have both characters represented well, and I think they did a great job here with Lilo.
I felt like all of her lines were delivered with like sincerity. And
Yeah.
you could feel that the entire movie.
Yeah, like it made everyone in that audience was connected to her. And
Yes.
she's what? How old is she? 6, 7? I don't know.
Can't be older than that.
She's young, and she was fantastic. And I'm gonna call out a great performance when I see it. And there we go. Number 2 for me is Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane.
Yeah.
I've got Lois Lane even higher. I thought she was a perfect casting choice for Lois, and it's made me, for the first time since Margot Kidder, excited about this character. Thought Lois Lane was very weak in Superman Returns. Thought Lois Lane was extremely weak with Amy Adams, and I never felt like her and Henry Cavill had any chemistry whatsoever.
No. For that entire universe, you're wondering, like, why are these two together? They kind of just seem to have the reporter and source relationship, and it doesn't really develop. You don't into anything believable that anyway.
I guess they just wanted an actress that could play sad really well, like be upset that Superman is, dying or dead, or, so they went with Amy Adams, who's a top tier actress, no doubt, but she just was not the right fit for Lois Lane, in my opinion. Rachel Brosnahan, I think, is fantastic. And at number 1, I cheat again, the Ladies of Sinners. So
Okay.
Haley Steinfeld is in there, yes, technically, but I went with the whole, like, every female casting in this is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just the ensemble for Sinners. I hope that they win the SAG Award for Best Ensemble. You take the men and the women of that movie, and it's got to be perfect, all of them working together from top to the bottom, and all fantastic. So all of the Ladies of Sinners, they get my vote.
There's not a single element of that movie that I don't think works perfectly.
I mean, it's really, really strong.
Really good movie.
All right, what performance from an actress is in contention for worst performance of the year?
This was a no-brainer for me.
Okay.
Gal Gadot, Snow White.
Oh, okay. I didn't see Snow White, but the fact you went Gal Gadot instead of Rachel Zegler, a lot of people probably were like, oh, okay, they're a little bit more. But Gal Gadot, it's a very stiff actress.
Very wooden in anything she plays. Rachel Zegler, as much hate as she gets, she is a good actress. She is a god-awful movie star, though, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
She does well on screen, but in the whole promotion and, the whole politic and shaking hands, kissing babies you've got to do as to be a popular movie star, like to be a Tom Cruise, where you're throwing popcorn in your mouth and nobody cares about any of your past because you're just a lovable guy right now.
Yeah.
That's the problem Rachel Zegler has. She does not do that. She actively pushes people away from her movies, even though she's good in them.
Yeah, I mean, she needs a better publicist or somebody in her ear saying, don't screw this up. But she's done herself long-term damage. I think everyone associated with this project has done themselves some form of long-term damage. It has still got a stank on it.
Absolutely.
Sure.
I wouldn't be surprised if Gal Gadot had already been blacklisted from Warner Brothers. And she's definitely blacklisted from Disney now. You're not going to see her in any Disney-related anything ever again.
Yeah, rough for that entire cast there. And if you're a DCEU fan, we're sorry for all the takes we're giving today.
I'm not.
My least favorite performance from an actress in a movie this year is Zoe Winters from Materialists, who delivers a line about, "You're just a pimp. You're just a pimp." You have not seen the movie.
I haven't, but every time you say that line, the 50 Cent song, PIMP, starts playing in my head.
You're just a pimp. You pimp. And I couldn't believe what I was watching. I was like, this is not the rom-com I thought I signed up for. What is this? So, Zoe Winters delivering that line. I wish it was my ringtone. Okay. I'm going to start things off with the 4 films that weren't that bad, but they never reached the potential that at some point you saw in them, and you rank them in order of disappointment. Number 4 for me is Companion. I said we'd be talking about Companion, right? A lot of people like this movie, and that's fine. I like it, but I thought I would love it. Companion is a movie that disappointed me. I never want to watch it again. I don't think it's as smart as it thinks it is. I think it's
pretty well written. I mean,
I'm not there.
Each their own, but
I'm not there. I think it actually takes the cheap way out of a lot of situations throughout the course of the movie. So Companion for me was a disappointment. Number 3, I'm sticking with horror movies. Horror movies a running theme in mine. The Monkey. Look, we bought a popcorn monkey for Tyler's birthday. The company gifted it to him. Biggest mistake ever.
That might be the worst gift I've ever been given.
Yeah.
Not because I didn't want it.
You did.
Because I did want the bucket. I had planned on buying it myself. But because that thing has brought an actual curse upon the studio.
I think it's another incredibly poor example of a screenplay. I think The Monkey's poorly written. I think...
Well, blame Stephen King for that.
Well, whoever adapted it as well deserves some of the blame there, too. Osgood Perkins, the way they tried to push him as like this huge horror name after one movie in Longlegs, and they tried the next Osgood Perkins event of the, it's like, did we miss a part where he became like the biggest director in Hollywood? And he's like, I don't think I want to direct the biggest movies. He started turning down projects that weren't offered to him. And I'm like, what is going on here? The Monkeys, I just don't think it's very good. Yeah. However, I wouldn't mind, what's his name? Theo James. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't mind him being the next James Bond. I wouldn't hate it. So if there's anything that The Monkey gave me, it's a little bit more hope in him. Number 2, Wolfman. This was on my most anticipated list of 2024 until I realized they were pushing it. Then I dropped it. And it would have been on 2025's most anticipated had I not seen all the trailer and stuff. This movie's awful. I don't know what kind of Wolfman gets inflicted with the Wolfman virus and then starts to lose hair, but that's what happens here with the Wolfman. These creatures are weird, and there's a overt reference to Saw in this that, like, clearly Lee Winnell is making a Saw reference in a barn with, like, being stuck and having to, like, have your own foot come off and stuff. And I'm like, are we really doing this? We're paying homage to Saw in the Wolfman movie that's awful, and it's really bad. I hate the Wolfman movie. Don't think it's very good.
I don't either. And that's why I've got it at number 4 in my most disappointing movies of the year. I like it. Because I went in with high hopes. I hadn't seen much marketing for it, but I love Julia Garner. And I like all the old original Universal Monsters movies. And plus Lee Winnell, creator of Saw, along with James Wan. And this movie just nothing. Like, I couldn't tell you why that movie was made, because I still really don't feel like we got a Wolfman movie.
We really didn't. It left the door open wide for Robert Eggers to come in and have a
He's about
actual Wolfman
to
movie.
do some cleanup with that genre.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's stop talking about Wolfman. Man, that was awful. That was so bad.
I liked the first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Like the hunting sequence and all that.
Yeah.
After that, off a cliff.
Steep.
I actually loved the way it was going maybe the first half hour. I loved the setup. I loved the dialogue back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And then once they start getting into, okay, let me take the family cross country and we're going to go out to werewolf country, didn't make any sense to me, especially as a father who's trying to protect his family. Like, if you knew what you saw as a kid and witnessed as a kid, you wouldn't want to take your family out there to this.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It was setting up like the sort of original themes of the Wolfman. And I thought that was pretty good. It sort of put it into a father-son relationship instead of man and wife, I guess. But man, you got to get the look of the Wolfman right first before you start adding complex layers onto your movie.
It looked like that D-Rex. All right.
It did.
Let's move on to number 3 on your most disappointing.
Number 3 on my list, a movie that I thought was going to be a lot bigger, but absolutely fizzled out. The Amateur, Rami Malek. I'm a big Rami Malek fan, and I thought that this was going to be a really solid, smart action spy thriller movie.
Yeah.
It just wasn't. It was very generic. And I really expected better. I expected a sort of spiritual successor to Mr. Robot, and it being just very cleverly written, but it just kind of felt cheap. There's a lot of Deus Ex Machinas for Rami Malek's character. When going in, you would expect it's like more twists and turns. Like, oh, you thought you had my trap disabled, but I actually planned for that because I'm Mr. Robot, and I knew what you were going to do, so I did this and this. And then they fall into a hole or something. I don't know. But not very enjoyable. It was just kind of boring.
Well, I skipped it altogether. I was looking forward to it, but there was no buzz on it whatsoever.
None.
And it ran into a little bit of the center's buzzsaw, too. So
yes, that's true.
It kind of got lost in the shuffle. All right, number 2, most disappointing.
Mickey 17.
Oh.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to it. I like Parasite a lot. Love Robert Pattinson.
We may have the same number 1, by the way. Keep going.
And it just, Mark Ruffalo just took a hammer to any potential this movie had. On top of that, there's some weird wackiness with the lore that isn't quite clear, but I liked the world that Bong Joon-ho was starting to build out.
Good try.
Yeah, good. A for effort. Even though you lost Warner Brothers like $100 million or something like that.
Maybe more
I
than
think
that.
it was more. I think it was like 150, 180.
And no one cares about it.
No one cares. No one at all.
No one. So, yeah, big miss.
Huge miss.
And it's a big hit for Oscar-winning directors that want to try to level up, too, because Bong Joon-ho, they bet big on. And Hollywood tends to try not to make the same mistakes. So if you're Sean Baker, are you like, oh, gosh? No.
Well, I don't know. I think there's an argument for people like Sean Baker. Maybe Bong Joon-ho could do better with larger scale movies, but I think Sean Baker needs to stick with lower scale.
Maybe so.
He kind of specializes in guerrilla filmmaking and iPhone filmmaking.
We're at the point where we're now going to unveil our most disappointing movie of the year. I don't know if we're on the same page here, but my most disappointing movie of the year and your most disappointing movie of the year, what does yours start with letter-wise?
Starts with a B.
Same.
As in ballerina.
Yeah, ballerina for both of us. This was on our most anticipated list.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a bad movie, right? That's the whole point of this is like, you don't want to pick something that's just trash. This movie's not trash. It's got a lot of action sequences that I think are really good.
Yeah.
But this movie is it completely misses the mark when it comes to overall objective. It does not enhance the other movies in the series.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't. It's a Parasite, which is a Bong Joon-ho reference. It tries to feed off of the momentum of John Wick 1, 2, 3, 4, and instead it slows it down to a screeching halt.
Yes, it does. And again, this isn't a bad movie, It is bad when you compare it next to the masterpieces that are the John Wick saga. And
Who do you blame?
I blame Lionsgate.
I do too.
I blame Lionsgate. They started in the wrong place. They were saying, how do we make a John Wick movie without John Wick? And also without anybody from the team of the original John Wick movies.
But like really also push John Wick in the marketing to where people are like, man, I got to catch John Wick 3.5, which is what they're trying to sell this as.
That's exactly what they were trying to sell it as. And he doesn't pop up in the movie enough. Or really, he's in it a fair bit, I guess, but doesn't do anything, I felt like. This is the most useless I've seen Keanu on screen ever.
The movie is incredibly generic and incredibly safe, and they thought just by slapping on the brand name, they'd be able to print money.
That's exactly.
Did not work, and I'm kind of glad it didn't work.
Me too.
We don't need more watered-down John Wick movies. We need excellent John Wick universe movies.
Yeah, Lynn Wiseman ended up directing this one, best known for Underworld. And my problem with the Underworld movies has always been you don't really have a sense of space or environment during any of the action sequences. It's very chaotic, very choppy. And so in like Underworld, for example, you'll have a big fight scene in a field or something. You don't know where any of the main characters are or where they are in relation to each other, and that really hurts the movie. What John Wick does very well is the originals, that being, you have the sense of, it's like, there's a guy right behind that corner. There's a guy, you better watch out, John, he's right there, and John Wick takes him out. But Ballerina goes back to that Underworld style, choppy action that just isn't grounded in that John Wick world, which, you know, that franchise is made by, excuse me, the director is a former stuntman, Chad Stahelski. So that's where a lot of the sort of tender love and care in the production process comes from. It is the paying attention to ammo counts. It is paying attention to the overall physics of a scene and just trying to make it realistic, even though it is John Wick fighting off 1,000 guys.
Lionsgate had a really rough 2024. And if you watch our end of the year review, Lionsgate gets crapped on a lot by us at the end of the year review and talking about all the misfires they had. Ballerina was supposed to be the sort of the shining, like, let's get back to basics and make something matter. And Ballerina somehow made the one thing they had working for them more than anything in the John Wick series matter less. So, you know, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. It really is. We were rooting for it. Mm-hmm. What 2025 movie looked so bad or irritated you so much to the point, theatrical or streaming, that you purposefully skipped it? You're very rare to skip movies, and typically the reason why I put in theatrical or streaming in these is because you will skip a lot of streaming movies. Yes. Is that the route you went here with streaming or theatrical?
Theatrical.
Materialists?
Nope. So I had still booked tickets for Materialists and tried to make it.
What movie looked so bad that Tyler wouldn't even see it in the theater? Yikes.
Exactly.
It's got to be bad. I don't know. I'm
Starts with a B. Bride Hard, starring Rebel Wilson.
Yeah, I would have never guessed that in a million years.
Yeah,
Bride Hard, yeah.
This looked abysmal. Obviously, from the title, you can guess that it's a play on Die Hard. Yeah. But it is at a bridal shower, and the whole idea is that Rebel Wilson is actually a secret agent, and none of her friends know. And so, like, every time she dips out in the middle of get-togethers, they're just like, oh, you only care about yourself. And now she's got to save the whole bridal party. I skipped it. I had no interest in seeing this.
Our two movies were targeting the same audience, because the movie that I skipped in 2025 that purposefully I wanted no part of was Megan 2.0.
Oh.
And it was going for all the girl bosses out there, too. And Tyler, you're one of the few souls that actually went to go see this movie. And you, once again, you're like, hey, if this is the flavor you're looking for, it delivers. But the problem is nobody wanted that flavor. Like, it's like showing up to a chicken place and they give you, they give you tofu. It's like, I didn't want that. I didn't want tofu. I wanted chicken.
I was going to say it's like going to an ice cream place and the only flavor they have is rum raisin. Like, if you
Much better.
If you really like rum raisin, then you'll like Megan 2.0. Yeah. But if you're like, I don't rum raisin?
Yeah.
I don't know about that. You will hate Megan 2.0.
Your analogy much better.
Thank you.
Last but not least, we always try to end on a high note, and that is what are currently, based off of what you know, the 4 movies you anticipate seeing most the remainder of the year, first being the one you anticipate the absolute most. This is where it gets really exciting. I think we're going to have a lot of crossover. Mm-hmm. Where are you going with number 4?
Number 4, I'm going with the next great movie star, if he isn't already there, Glenn Powell in The Running Man.
I've got the exact same thing in the exact same spot.
All right.
The Running Man is at number 4 for me as well. I really like the trailer, but I don't absolutely love it. I don't love the look. It looks almost like too predictable, too clean, I thought it was going to be a little bit of a harder movie, a little bit harder film. I think it's going to be wacky and fun.
It definitely is with Edgar Wright at the helm.
But I hope it's a little bit more dramatic and serious than the tone of the trailer. I think Coleman Domingo is going to eat up the screen. And I'm really excited. He's going to cook, and I'm looking forward to that.
He's going to steal the show, of course. And we didn't mention this in our trailer reaction because it's just a blink and you miss it moment. But there's a shot in the trailer where one character is holding up a bunch of money. And if you look closely on the dollar notes, you got Arnold's face on it.
Really?
Yes.
So we're going to get a cameo? I think we are. I think we are. Have to. Yeah.
I don't know.
Have to. Okay. The Running Man at number 4. Will we stay in the same boat here for number 3? Where are you going for number 3?
Number 3, I'm going with one that would have been on my most anticipated movies of the year if I had seen anything from it.
I think we're on the same page. I think we're on the exact same page.
That's Weapons.
Oh, no, we're not.
I think our 2 and 3 might be swapped then.
I've got The Naked Gun at number 3.
Yeah. Okay. I've got it at number 2.
Okay, so you've got Naked Gun at number 2 and Weapons at number 3.
Yeah.
And I have Naked Gun at number 3. I have Weapons number 1. I'm just going to go ahead and spoil Weapons is my most anticipated for the remainder of the year. But let's talk a little bit about both of these movies. I want to start with Weapons.
Okay.
Because to the date of this time in our lives, you have still not seen Barbarian. Is that correct?
Correct. And it might be higher on my list if I had.
I've been teased so much, like to the point where you're like, guess what I'm doing today? What? Going to watch Barbarian, man. And then it's like, what'd you think? I didn't watch it. But anyway, I'm sorry. I love Barbarian, Zach Kreger, and he's doing Weapons. And you love the cast of this movie.
I do. I love Josh Brolin, and I love Julia Garner. So I'm thinking I'm going to really like this movie.
I hope so. I mean, there's enough mystery about it.
Yeah.
I think it's going to get people talking. I think it's going to be a hit. I think it's going to be a great date movie. I think it's going to be great for horror movie fans. I think it's going to be great for adult audiences and, parents on a date night that want the ultimate fear of their kids just go missing in the middle of the night. What the hell? I think it's going to have a lot of questions and a lot of people wanting those answers.
It almost feels like it's got somewhat of a True Detective kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Like, not entirely, but a little bit of that stuff.
I think it is this year's Long Legs. I've said that for a while. I think it's kind of like that smash sort of sneaky summer horror movie hit that's going to be a little bit more of a thinker. So I'm excited for Weapons. Let's talk about The Naked Gun. First reactions have been coming out to this, and they have been very positive, talking about how this movie's hysterical.
Yeah.
Now, I try not to get overhyped on the first reactions and all that stuff, but it's better to hear that than this movie's a complete dud.
Oh, yeah.
The marketing for The Naked Gun, there's a new trailer out. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to see anything else.
They're putting out too much.
Stop. Popcorn buckets out there.
I'm already sold. Just take the sale.
Just give me a chance to watch the movie. I don't want to know any more bits. I don't want to know any more jokes. Every time I order a kid's meal from a drive-thru, and I'm not buying it for my daughter, but instead buying it for myself, I think of Liam Neeson buying the tricks for kids. I approach it the exact same way. So I can just take this Happy Meal and I can go and the authorities won't be called. We don't have to. It's like,
I won't be followed.
Exactly.
No, we don't have the resources for that.
That
It's such a good scene.
Your Liam Neeson part doesn't crack me up until you do your Ted part, and then I lose it. Your Ted part's actually funnier because that's the way you would actually sound in that setting. But anyway, I'm hopeful and I'm excited, and there's a lot of people who they still can't connect the dots on why Liam Neeson's in this movie, but I'm telling you, he's gonna be really, really funny.
People also forget that Leslie Nielsen was a serious dramatic actor before The Naked Gun and Airplane.
Completely fair. So The Naked Gun, we're both very excited about that, and that's on our list. That leaves you with your number one, and I have no idea where you're going here for your number one most anticipated, unless it's something that's a little bit non-typical, non-traditional.
This is not going to be on your radar.
Chainsaw Man?
That's exactly what it is.
Okay, well then I guess
it made number 2 for my most anticipated movies of 2025. We got a trailer a couple weeks back, and I'm sold. Chainsaw Man is delightfully wacky and disturbed. It's got a little bit of a horror influence in there, and there is just so much tender love and care put into that work from the animation team and from everybody else at Studio Mappa, because weirdly enough, Mappa completely self-funded the production of Chainsaw Man, even going so far as to do a sort of almost pilot episode, just sort of, this is not the final version, but this is what we've got so far for the first couple episodes, just to pitch it to the publishing company of the Chainsaw Man manga to secure the deal for making the show. And they said, we'll fund it 100%. Y'all don't have to chip in at all. We want to make Chainsaw Man. And that comes across on screen because the animation is fantastic. They did, for season 1, they did 12 different ending animations and ending songs, which is just absolutely, that's bonkers. You're making a separate animation and song just for a little 2-minute credit sequence at the end of every episode. That's crazy dedication. The opening theme to Chainsaw Man just went absolutely nutty, took the internet by storm. It's called Look Back by Kenshi Yonezu. If anybody wants to check it out, I do recommend watching the opening, and you can honestly judge if you want to watch the show based on that opening, because it cooks. It is, like I said, delightfully wacky, and it is just one of the best things to come out in the past few years in the world of anime. When season 1 was here, I looked forward to every Tuesday because it's another episode of Chainsaw Man. Doesn't matter what happens during the day, I got 24 minutes of just off-the-wall action and horror to look forward to on Tuesdays. And with the Reze arc, we're going to raise the stakes some more and maybe even get a little more in-depth with the cinematic nature of Chainsaw Man, because the author of the Chainsaw Man manga was heavily inspired by American cinema and does a lot of sort of rule bending in manga. He'll use the actual frames of the panels of the pages to do extra illustrations or get extra effect out of, like somebody being knocked out of frame and stuff like that.
When do you get to absorb this as a fan?
I believe October 29th is when it officially releases in America, which would just be absolutely perfect coming out just right before Halloween, getting a movie centered around everyone's fears turning into these strange demonic creatures, whether it's a fear of tomatoes or a fear of death.
Well, it should be a fun October for you, for sure. Real quick, once again, my 4 most anticipated: The Running Man at number 4, The Naked Gun at number 3. I've got Weapons at number 1. Number 2 for me, I was kind of between a couple of movies a little bit. I decided not to go with the new Leonardo DiCaprio movie, even though it's in my 10 most anticipated movies of the year. I went with The Smashing Machine with The Rock and Emily Blunt. That one trailer that we've seen, I think is a pitch perfect trailer.
It is.
And I'm very excited about it. So I want to see that. And I want to see The Rock take a dramatic turn to where now I'm talking about, instead of Batista, I'm talking about The Rock again, being that guy who's really leading the forefront of wrestlers turned actors. So he's already done it commercially. Everything you can possibly do, The Rock has done it. He's become the biggest global superstar in the world. Obviously, that's why he's global. And I really do think bringing him back to his roots, where he's able to get into a character and tell a story that is something that he cares about deeply. There may even be Oscar buzz surrounding this.
There might be. I think the opening of that trailer is incredibly strong. He's sitting there in the doctor's waiting room. He's all bloodied up, and old lady says, "Oh, what happened to you?" And he starts telling her about the UFC, and she goes, "Oh, do you guys hate each other when you do that?" He goes, "No, ma'am. No, ma'am."
It really is like you're in the room with them and you just happen to be overhearing it. It's really well presented, and I'm excited about it. I think this is like the next Iron Claw sort of feeling of a movie, and obviously done by A24, and with, is it Benny Safdie behind it?
I believe so. It's Benny.
I have a lot of confidence that this thing's going to hit. So I'm excited about that one, and it's been on my radar for a long time, and I want to finally sit down in the theater and watch it for sure. There we have it. Our Meltdown midterm is officially out there. Our Meltdown movie midterm is complete. We have told you about everything up to this point. Our end of the year conversation will be even more engaging, and it'll probably have a lot of holdover from Sinners, because it's right now sort of in that top position. And will it be passed by any of these things we've talked about? Potentially. We'll see. But it has been a very top-heavy year, I feel like, in cinema here in 2025. The things that have been great have been oh so nice to digest, but there's been a lot of misses too. We'll talk even more about all of the movies coming out throughout the remainder of the year right here on The Meltdown with Meltdown Live. We want to remind you to subscribe and be a part of the conversation. 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern, each and every weekday. Our title sponsor, that's MyBookie at MyBookie.ag. You can bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. Football season's right around the corner. You're going to want to be signed up at MyBookie.ag so you can get in the action there. Use promo code NEXTROUND for that first-time deposit bonus there at MyBookie.ag. For Tyler, I'm Tim. We make up The Meltdown. We'll see you again very soon right here on the channel.